Welcome to Yoga Connect. This is Kristen Chamberlain. If you're joining me today, this class is meant for all of our parents and caregivers out there that are taking care of their children. It's the beginning of summer, and it's been kind of a strange transition to summer. And so I think it's really important that we keep ourselves taken care of as we kind of move through the next phase of this uncertainty. I'd like to kind of teach you a little bit and talk to you a little bit about what this class is today. So we're going to be doing a restorative class. And what restorative does for the mind and the body is to calm the parasympathetic nervous system. So we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is our go pedal on our gas in a car. And our parasympathetic nervous system is our brake pedal. So this is what slows the body down and slows the mind down. Now, just as if you were driving in a car, it can be a little challenging to just go and hit that gas pedal if you're going 90 miles an hour down the highway. So we're going to start with a little bit of movement, and then as we move through the rest of this class today, we're going to move into more of a rest and digest phase of the class, which is often referred to in a lot of yoga classes as restorative. So that is what I'm offering for you today. So as I stated, we're going to start with a little bit of movement. So if you have a moment, you might want to grab a few props. I like to have with me a blanket, and as you might be able to see, I'm sitting on a comfortable pillow. And that's just going to offer a little bit of support in some of the postures that we're doing today, especially in the restorative postures. So if you have a moment, go ahead and press pause and grab that. And then when you're ready to come back to your mat, we're just going to sit in an easy seat. So crisscross legs position. Hands can rest on the thighs. And head's going to rest right above the shoulders. You can find a spot on the floor in front of you, or maybe choose to close your eyes. And we'll start with just an even part breath. So we're going to inhale to the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath expand through the body. 2, 3, 4. And slow exhale. 2, 3, 4. Last one. Big breath. 3, 4. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. Now you've settled into the breath. We're going to add a little bit of movement here by adding the hands. So you can bring your palms facing forward, thumbs pointing away from you. And as you breathe in, you're going to reach your arms up above the head, lengthening through the sides of the waist until the hands and palms face towards each other. And then exhale. 2, 3, 4. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale. 2, and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, bring your arms again up overhead. And then on your exhale, bring your right arm to the left knee and the left hand behind you for just a gentle twist. As you sit firmly onto the floor or onto your pillow, press those sitting bones down into the floor, and you're going to feel a lengthening through the spine. You can use the leverage of your right hand on the knee, but pull that right shoulder back and you'll find maybe a little bit of a more revolved twist. You don't have to go very far here. This is gentle movement. Take a big breath in and out. Inhale, come back to center. Lift the arms all the way up. Stretch up tall through the sides of the waist. And exhale, opposite side. Left arms for right knee, right hand behind you. Feel the deepening of the breath. Pulling the shoulders back, lifting the head by pressing the sitting bones down to the floor. Deep breath in. And slow breath out. Big breath's going to bring you back up to center. And then exhale, hands come down, rest at the sides. Let's pause for a little bit to kind of open through the chest. Maybe you start to walk the hands behind you, fingertips pointing out to the back corners of your mat. Now pull the shoulder blades in together so that you feel the tips of the shoulder blades kind of touch behind you. And that's gonna press your chest up as you pull your belly button in. Now your head's just gonna kind of fall where it naturally wants to fall. If we creep too far back, that's constricting down the breath. So let's keep the head lifted. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. Slowly begin to lift up through the chest to sit back into a comfortable seat. We're going to do a little bit of a rounding through the spine. As you inhale, you're going to roll to your right side and then exhale over the fronts of the legs, inhaling back and exhaling round. So now following your breath, inhale. Now exhale round. Inhale as you lean forward and down. And exhale as you lean back and round. We're going to do one more like that and switch sides. So inhale, forward and down. Exhale, back and round. Come back up to a neutral seat. Pull the shoulders back, sit up nice and tall. Big breath in. Exhale, clear it out. Inhale's now going to drop you to the left. Exhale, round and drop back. Using the arms for leverage, inhaling and exhaling. Last one, inhale, round forward. Exhale, round back. Come back to your neutral seated position. Let's press our palms into the center of our chest. Lift the chest towards the thumbs and draw the shoulder blades back. Maybe just notice here the heart rate. Notice the depth and quality of your breath. Take another deep breath in and slow breath out. We're going to walk. We're going to remove whatever you're sitting on and then maybe adjust so that you're on your hands and feet onto your mat. You're going to do a little stretch of the calf muscles and the legs here. Stretching your left foot back first on this one and press the toes into the floor. And glue those toes into the floor as the heel presses behind you, and you can pulse here to give yourself a little bit of a stretch. Go ahead and allow that pulse to happen into the heel. Noticing the stretch, maybe pressing through the back of the knee, engaging the muscles by lifting that back kneecap. Now from here, you're going to take that left leg, cross it behind the body, keep your hands firmly planted, and then gaze over to the right side. Maybe you see that left foot. Now notice the stretch on the left side body. Take a big breath in and exhale. One more deep breath in. Slow breath out. Bring that foot back to center. Maybe pause for one more little stretch in the back of the leg, and then let your left foot or left knee meet your right. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So now right leg extends, pressing into the back of the leg, maybe noticing that one side is a little different from the other. Allow the stretch to happen in the calf muscles. Allow engagement of your quad by lifting your kneecap up. So drawing the muscles into the bones. Take a deep breath in. And then when you exhale now, bring that foot across the body. So the right foot is on the left side, and then go ahead and look over that left shoulder and feel the stretch all along the right side body. Breathe into those right lungs. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Deep breath's going to bring that foot back to center. Pause here. One more gentle stretch at the back of the leg. And then exhale, hands and knees. If you like here, you can do three options in poses. So we're going to do a little bit of the lengthening of the spine. Our first option here, option one, is just a simple child's pose. So knees can be apart, toes can be together, stretch your arms long.
Head rests on the mat. This is again one of the more restorative types of postures. Notice here this length of the spine.
If you want a little bit more of an arch or a back bending sensation, come onto your knees, hips over knees, and stretch your hands long as your forehead, neck, and chest reach forward and your tailbone stays high and back. This is a puppy dog position, often people call. And this is a little bit more of a back bending action if you want a little bit more of an opening in the chest. Option 3 is a little bit more of an active pose. So those of you who have a hard time quieting the body and settling down, you might want to choose this one. And that is simply downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, your hands press the floor forward. You can bend the lat into the knees, but lift your tailbone up and draw your heels down. As you squeeze the inner elbows in together, you're going to rotate those elbows forward and press all fingertips into the mat. So the inner eyes of the elbows roll forward as your forearms squeeze in. Press the floor away from you again, lift your tailbone high, and notice that you can feel a lengthening of the spine and maybe even a tiny back bend here. So whichever pose you choose, find the pose. So you can choose again, come into child's pose, puppy dog pose, or downward facing dog, and stay here for 3 deep breaths. Big breath in, slow breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. Last breath, deepest breath. And exhale. Come back down to your hands and knees. And if you're already in child's pose, that's where we're going. So if you're in child's pose, stay there. Everyone else, let's meet in child's pose. Hips stretch back, hands reach forward.
Head rests on the floor. Feel the tailbone draw more towards the knees. Feel the upper shoulders engage by pressing your hands onto the floor. Glue them on the floor, but imagine you're going to pull the floor towards you, and you should feel that slide of the backs of your shoulder blades down. Pause for a deep breath. Expand through the low ribs. Big breath. And exhale. On your inhale breath, start to look towards your hands. And on your exhale breath, walk your hands now to the right side of your mat. You can let your forehead rest down onto the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, it can rest on that pillow or a really folded up blanket. Maybe you keep both hands to the side of the mat. Maybe you choose to bring the left hand on top of the right hand. Pull that left hip down and back and breathe into the stretch all along the left side body. Big breath in and out. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Walk your hands back to center. Pause for a breath in. Pause for a breath out. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, now walk your hands more to the left side of your mat. Draw that right hip down and away. As the right hand reaches further out, maybe it presses and lays on top of the left hand. So as you reach here, you can stretch the back right hip down and away as the left hip stretches over to the opposite side. So make it long from those the right hip, all the way to the right hand. Take one more deep breath in. And slow breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Walk your hands back to center here. Maybe choose to join me into a tabletop position. And you can either move through a gentle down dog or come up onto your knees and step so that we're standing towards the top of our mat.
Doing just a gentle, subtle flow before we move into our restorative postures. So as you can bring your feet hip width distance apart. Some people like to bring the toes to touch with a little space between the heels. Either is fine. You can keep a slight bend in your knees here. Inhale, raise your arms up towards your ceiling. Exhale, clasp your hands and bend to the right. Inhale, breath. Exhale, stay. Inhale, hands come back up to center. Exhale, now bend to the left. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale, bring your arms back to center. Part your hands, bring your arms wide, and gently begin to forward fold. Folding forward. You can choose to bend your knees here. Maybe grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe sway from side to side. These forward folds are so calming to the nervous system, so allow your head to be heavy. Allow your torso just to spill over the tops of the thighs. Maybe you choose to be in stillness. Take a big breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Release the hands down to the floor. Inhale, hands to your shins. Press your spine long, torso long, belly up and in. And exhale, back to your forward fold. Strengthen the legs, press to the floor, lift your arms wide, belly tight, lifts you all the way up. And then exhale, hands come down to the center of your chest. We're gonna move in breath and movement. So inhaling, lift up. Exhaling, bend to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, part your arms, forward fold. Let your torso dangle. Inhale, hands to shins, stretch your spine long. Exhale, lower down. Bend your knees a lot here. And either step back into a downward dog. So one foot back in the other. So you can stretch into a downward dog here. Or simply come down to child's pose. Take one more deep breath in wherever you are. And then exhale, we'll all meet in child's pose. Noticing your breath here. Noticing any differences or changes you've created in your body. One more deep breath. And slow breath out. Walk your hands back to your knees. And sit up nice and tall. You can choose to cross your ankles behind you and have a seat on your mat. So take a moment here to pause. Maybe choose to place one hand over the heart, other hand over the heart. Chin dives in towards your chest. And start to slow the heart rate down by staying connected and deepening the breath. And pause here for a moment or two as we begin to prep for the more restorative postures of our class. So now we've come to a little bit of more of the restorative part of our class, and this is where a blanket and a pillow might be very helpful. So we're gonna actually have you start with your blanket. I'm gonna have you take the blanket and fold it up, maybe like so, and then you're gonna roll it up. So you're gonna roll it so that you have a little bit of a support, and this is going to be where the backs of our shoulder blades are going to lay. So I'm gonna lay so that my head is close to you, so you can kind of see the postures as best as you can. But you can find any place on your mat that you feel comfortable. So this particular one, I'm gonna bring it about 2/3 down from the mat so that I have a place that can support the top half of my body. And then I'm gonna turn around like so, and lay my back onto the blanket. Now you might want to adjust it so that the blanket is right above the shoulder blades, and you'll feel a lift of the heart space. And a little bit more of an opening through the chest. You can bring your arms into a cactus or a T-like shape. And I'm going to start with my feet on the floor and knees up to the ceiling. You're going to feel a little bit of an arch of the back here, even though this is more of a restorative or resting posture. Now, if you feel like you're putting a lot of effort in holding those knees up, I highly recommend bringing your knees out to the outer edges of the mat and drop them in so that it feels like you're doing very little to be in this posture. Now, bring your awareness and attention to your breath. So in these restorative postures, the breath allows for the most change and opening. So even noticing here as you breathe in deeply, the chest lifts, and there's a little bit of a deepening in the arch of the back. And exhale, allow for your body to rest. And from here, drop your knees towards the left side of your mat as the gaze goes off to the right. Feel a little bit of a twist of the spine, however, the blanket and the position of your body is still supporting an opening of the chest. Breathing in deeply and exhaling. Another deep breath in. Slow breath out. Pause here for another moment or two. Just noticing your breath, noticing how the breath affects the body. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale, bring your knees back up to center, feet on the floor, pause here. And then as you exhale now, knees go to the opposite side, gaze up to the left. Deep breath in, slow breath out. If the mind wanders, bring it back to something that you feel, any type of sensation in your body. Maybe it's the temperature of your skin. Maybe it's a stretch in a certain area that you might feel. Maybe staying as you are, or if you choose to here, as long as it's not too stressful on your low back, you can extend your legs forward, maybe reach your arms up overhead. Pull your fingertips from your toes. Take a few breaths here, feel the lengthening of your entire body. And then exhale, release all the muscles, bones, everything onto the floor. This is not very comfortable for your low back. You can always bring your feet back up so the knees are pointing towards the ceiling. Just pause in this gentle back bend position supported by the blanket. Here you could roll on to whichever side you want to. If your legs need to bring your feet on the floor and hug your knees in, you're welcome to do that. But roll on whatever side you want to. Let's get rid of the blanket. Come back to our backs and start to hug our knees in towards our chest. And let's rock from side to side here. This might be a great option to press your low back into the floor, especially if it feels a little like it's worked a little hard today. You can give yourself a bit of massage by just rolling from side to side. And then let's bring both feet on the floor again, this time extending your left leg into the air, starting with the left. Press the back of the left leg into the hands and let's point and flex the feet and roll out the ankles. One direction or the other. Maybe flex the foot for a moment here. You can stay with that left foot onto the floor, your right foot onto the floor, or you can choose to extend the right leg long. Here you can hug that left knee into your chest, rock your knee from side to side, sitting into the hips. And then from here you might choose to scoot your hips towards the left side of the mat as the leg goes off to the right and your left hand reaches out to the side for a gentle twist. We'll only be here for a moment. Big breath in. And out. Breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, roll back to center. Give yourself one more hug of that knee. Place the right foot on the floor, place the left foot on the floor, extend the right leg up into the air. Point and flex your feet. Roll out an ankle here. Press the back of that right leg into the hands as the arms pull it down. Notice that my shoulders and head and neck are not strained in any way or lifted off the floor. If that is the case for you, you might need to bend your knee. And definitely keep that left leg planted on the floor. If you have the flexibility, you can extend the left leg straight as long as that head, neck, and shoulders are compromised by lifting off the floor. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hug that knee into your chest. Move the knee from side to side here. Get into that hip crease. Those fluids move in there. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, shift your hips now to the right side of your mat. Right leg crosses over to the left body, look over the left hand. Pause for just a quick moment, or a couple moments here. Big breath. And exhale. Deep breath in. And slow breath out. Take a big breath in, hug your knee into the center of your chest. Give it a little bit of squeeze, maybe taking both knees into the center of the chest. You can choose to keep your knees together or maybe pull the knees apart just to kind of feel a little bit of a stretch on the inseams of the legs. Maybe hug your knees into your chest. Take one more big breath in. And exhale and either roll onto your side or rock yourself up into a sitting position. Now we're going to be moving into a legs up the wall position here. So what you may want to do is take a moment to find a space alongside your wall, or maybe move your mat to be propped up at the edge of a chair or a couch. So we're going to pause here for a moment as you get situated, and we'll finish our restorative yoga class with a supported legs up the wall position. So as you can see here, I moved my mat up against a wall. And again, as stated before, you can move your mat up against a wall, or if you don't have a wall space available, maybe to the edge of your couch or to a chair. And then I'll guide you into the pose. This might be another opportunity, especially because we'll be here for several minutes, this would be a great opportunity to maybe turn on some calming music near you, or if you choose to bring yourself to a place where you might have some time just by yourself, because we will be here for a while. So I've placed a pillow pretty close up to the wall next to, on the top of my mat. And so what that's going to be is a little bit of a lift of the hips. So you can get into it a couple of ways. You can, and sometimes people like to start just on the mat and then adding the pillow later. So I'll show you how to do it that way, or you can just prop your hips directly onto that pillow. But the easiest way, there's no pretty way to get into this pose. So the easiest way is to get yourself so that one hip, sorry, I'm gonna move that out of the way, is as close to the wall as you can possibly get it. And then you're gonna roll onto your back and place your feet up against the wall or up to the couch. Now you notice here that my hip actually moved quite a bit away from the wall, so I'm gonna do this awesome little scoot thingy using the wall a little bit so that my hips is as close to the wall as I can. And then this might be an opportunity to press your feet into the wall, lift your hips, and lower it down on a pillow. So a little bit of a hip lift here can be helpful. So now that my legs are up on the wall, I'm going to do the very best, or my very best, to make them so relaxed and feel like I'm not doing anything to hold it in space. Now you're welcome just to simply stay here. However, some people like a little bit of extra weight on the feet to help with this restorative posture. So again, no pretty way to do this. So I like to kind of just use the wall for a little bit of support and put a blanket on the bottom of my feet, but again, not necessary. If you have an extra blanket and feel you prefer it to be a little pillow for your head, feel free to do that. Arms can lay along the sides. They can come into a cactus position, or you can just simply take up a lot of space. So find where you want your arms to be. So wherever it goes naturally might be the best place for you. And then take a few moments just to feel this position and what it feels like in your body. And then let go of any effort. So let your legs know that it's supported by the wall. So allowing that to just rest up against the wall. Let your hips know that it's being supported by the ground. And your shoulders and arms relax along the sides. And once you found yourself in your position, just notice the sensations that you feel. I recently was told that the sensations are the language of the body. I really like that for many reasons. So just notice what you're feeling. For many of us, it might be noticing the blood flow coming from the feet into the shins and the calf muscles. Maybe being aware of your heart rate and the slowing of your breath. And since this is going to be our final Shavasana restorative position, just let your breath go. Let it be. However it shows up naturally for you. And again, we'll be here for several moments. So allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to let go and simply be. Now this can be hard for many of us. Our brain wants to wander to what comes next. So if you find that to be the case for you, just bring your awareness back to something that you feel internally. So maybe again, noticing your own breath or the temperature of your skin. Maybe you listen for a soft, subtle sound in the room, such as the sound of a fan. Allow your mind to stay in the present with your body. you are, and just know that I will call you out of the pose. And I will guide you back to your world and your life as you're ready. Just being present to this sensation, to this posture, staying present to your body and this moment. Now you are welcome to stay here for as long as needed. Or you can join me as I guide you out of the pose and the posture. So before moving, take one more deep breath. Make this your deepest breath in your class. Filling up and then maybe even taking a little bit more at the top. And then exhale. Clear it out and let it go. To exit the posture, especially if you have something on your feet, you're going to gently bend your knees in, and again, use the wall for support here. If the blanket falls, it's a blanket, it's okay, let it fall. And you move it off to the side. And again, here's your knees close to your chest, so maybe choosing to squeeze your knees into your chest. And then choosing, again, your favorite side. So there's no right or wrong side here. Whatever side is calling to you. Whatever side that is, let your arm extend and then roll towards that side. Let your head rest onto your bicep. And relax and rest onto the floor. Taking another deep breath in. And slow breath out. On your inhale breath, press yourself up into a seated position. Move any props aside, or maybe choose to sit on your blanket or your pillow. Pausing, pressing your hands together at your center of your chest, bringing your chin in. And take a moment to notice the calm you've created in your body. And as you notice that, you know that at any point during your day, during your week, you can bring yourself back to this position of calm. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope you feel calm, healthy, and restored.